So this door piece is pretty much all finished up. A little bit of glaze left to sand out and we should be good there, ready for primer. So basically what I'm doing is the actual body filler, that's all getting sanded down with 80. Glaze on top of the body filler because there's always a little bit of pinholes here and there. Glaze gets hit with 180 and then 220 and then 320 the whole panel, and that'll be ready for primer. Wings ready for primer. Moving on to the front bumper. This thing doesn't really need any body work. I might try to make these up here a little bit better because we had to refiberglass those in. But other than that, she should be good to go. I'm gonna sand the whole thing with 320. And if there's any areas that actually need primer on this, we can prime it at the same time. But I think we should be good to just go ahead, seal this guy out, and then lay the base and clear. There is a bunch of plasti dip up in behind this grill area. So we have a little wire wheel attachment on the drill. I don't care to make it perfectly flat and mint underneath. I just want the paint to stick, and it's definitely not gonna stick to plasti dip. Front bumper is all prepped out. Let's move on to the rear. Here is the cool thing about the rear bumper. We already sprayed this thing out once. That's why it looks pretty decent. This whole diffuser section is gonna stay black, so I'm actually not going to completely sand that down. I'm gonna scuff it up so we can re-clear it along with the rest of the bumper, just so we don't have a paint line right there. So from this line up, that's all gonna be sanded down with 320, get it nice and flat. There are some pinholes that we're gonna have to fix up, but now that we have some nice glaze, that'll be easy to do. So let's go ahead and get this thing knocked out, and we will pretty much be done with prep work. Bumper is all sanded down with 320 and red scuff pad. The diffuser area, we're gonna scuff up with a lighter scuff pad, which is gonna be a gray scuff pad, just to get it roughened up a little bit for a clear coat. Bumper needs a little bit of filler work right there on the end. And then you guys see these pinholes right up in here. We're gonna glaze those in, sand them flat, and should be good to go. All right, a couple hours later, pretty much the end of the day, we are finally ready to lay down some 2K high build primer, some filler primer on all of these pieces here. So here's the fenders, we have the door panels over there, part of the wing is gonna get sprayed out, rear bumper pieces, and then this door that slid out on me the other day and got all scratched up, I'm gonna lay a little bit down on there as well, just to make sure we don't have any scratches that you can see underneath the paint. This area up in here, I'll sand it smooth and then just lay some filler on there. Other than that, we should be good to go. From here on out, it should be a fairly enjoyable process. Let this primer cure up. Primer's not bad to sand. I just wet sand it all with 400 and we don't make a mess in the shop. So that'll be nice. Let's go ahead, get primer mixed up and get everything sprayed out. So we got the parts sprayed out outside, and I was like, why is this primer running so easy? Check the temperature is 48 degrees, far too cold obviously to be spraying outside. So I got the heater going in the shop right now. I'm gonna let everything warm up. We already got 2 coats on, and then I'm just gonna finish spraying these things out in the shop. Get at least one more solid coat, one more warm solid coat on these things, just so we have some actual material to sand off. And it's crazy when you start laying some sort of material down, you can really see all the little pinholes in the fiberglass, which kind of sucks, but thankfully that primer, this filler primer, is going to help fill those little tiny ones that we missed with any sort of glaze. So one more solid coat on these things, we should be done. So on some of the panels we have like these pinholes right here. You guys see that? Super freaking annoying. I'm realizing that fiberglass stuff is hard, much harder than a metal panel, because obviously a metal panel you wouldn't have to deal with this kind of stuff. And I did some research. Apparently mixing fillers on cardboard introduces air into the filler, and that can cause these kinds of issues. So really freaking sucks. Tiny ones I'm just filling with filler primer. Bigger stuff like this though, I'm gonna go through real quick. I'm not gonna film it. I'm gonna sand all this smooth in a couple hours, go through, hit it with glaze, come back, slap some filler over it, and we should be good to go. Okay, we got everything sprayed out. I turned the shop up to 80 degrees. I'm gonna wait 24 hours, sand this stuff out tomorrow, and if we have pinholes, we're gonna have to take care of them then. It sucks, it is what it is. This is all a learning curve to me, and I'm figuring it out as we go. So here's all the panels that we sprayed, some over there, all these ones here. Of course, we didn't touch that. And then we had to do some touch-up primer work on this pillar up here and on 2 doors as well. All that turned out good, so we don't have to worry about respraying any of that. We are gonna have to lay primer down on these pieces anyway. These are the front bumper extensions that we had to install the studs on for the hidden hardware that we are doing on the car. So these things take a few hours to dry. I think this said 24 hours. They're already hard, so they're probably good to go. But this one up here is gonna have to be sanded, filled, and then primered. So if we need to put primer on those panels down there, not a big deal. I feel like we're pretty much all done with all the prep work, all the nasty, nitty, gritty, dusty work. So that's exciting. From here on out, as long as we don't have to redo a ton of panels, we got to set up the booth, which is exciting, to paint in a warm, nice shop with a booth. If everything goes well, sealer, base, clear, assemble. I'm stoked. It's been a long process, a long journey. It's been fun though, kind of. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, my friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow.